All right, I hope everybody's doing well. In this video, I want to talk about the areas. Now, this may not apply to you as far as these exact areas. I'm sure some of these areas were hit with directed energy for deterioration and probable cancer, or, well, I didn't put heart in here. I didn't put all of the areas, but what I'm going to talk about is how, in my experience, from how I've been targeted, hit with the directed energy, and deteriorated thus far, that the energy and the areas that it hits after the beginning phases of your directed energy deterioration of your body, it goes kind of like a clock. So a clock just goes clockwise and just keeps going. So you're going to see here, as it goes around, it's going to get into a quadrant of that's the area, and then that's the area that it's going to target. I'm going to close this real quick. Sorry for the echo, but I want to say again, before I get too deep here, just want to say, if you can, go out and grab Dr. Robert Duncan's book, How to Tame a Demon. It'll enlighten you on some of the stuff. It's like $13 on Amazon, How to Tame a Demon. And you can use this when you go to the doctor. When your physical deterioration takes hold, you can bring these books to the doctor with you and say, look, I just want to show you this. So it's not just coming from you. You're not just saying it sounding nuts, talking about directed energy hitting you and deteriorating you. Bring this with you and show your doctor and just say, here, and get them a copy and give it to them and say, please just read this, and then reference anything on the internet, like the 60 Minutes Havana Syndrome stuff. Don't just go to the doctor and say, the military, they're attacking me, the military. Give me 1 second. Oh, it's right here. And as always, please go out and get an EMF detector. It's going to help you temporarily. It's not going to save your life. Unfortunately, it's not going to save your life, but it'll help you. In the early phases, the earliest you can get this, it'll help you. So go get, you can get them on Amazon, or you can get a cheap phone with a magnetometer in it. That's what this is. And then you can put an app on there. That's what I like to use because it makes noise. So this will pitch up when there's high levels of EMF energy. So that way, if you're recording it, you don't have to see it. It'll be heard. All right. So let's get to this real quick. So this is part of what I want to talk about is how, as you see here, this says sex organ. So that you're gonna just go. Get the fucking knocking on the goddamn go. I don't know what knocking is gonna do. All right. Sorry. Let's close this again real quick. All right. So this says sex organ. So that's penis, testicles, vagina, ovaries, uterus, and everything to do with your sexual organs and sexual functionality. That is a main area of targeting. For most men out there, you're going to know that you've had your testicles hit, radiated a bunch of times. For women, you may have had your vagina hit, your ovaries, maybe you feel burning inside of you. I don't know. There's not a lot of women that talk about this. It's a lot more men on the internet that are saying things like Kevin. Again, I always say Kevin Christian, targeted individual. He's not making videos anymore. Hopefully he's doing well. That's all I can say. Hopefully he's doing well. Maybe you'll come on, Kevin. If you watch this, come on, leave a comment. Just let me know you're doing okay. That's all. Hopefully you're doing well. If you ever want to come on, I'd love to have you on and, we could talk. But this says sex organ. So a lot of us have had our testicles radiated. Mine yesterday. I could feel a static cloud of energy and soreness on my testicles. And it's not just on my testicles, it's adjacent too. It's over here, off to the side. So there's a bunch of lymph nodes here that are right here by your pelvis. So it'll be here on your testicles. And also I've had the lymph nodes here hitting my pelvis. Also in my neck, obviously too. But sex organ, brain, eyes, feet and hands, lungs, and your gastrointestinal tract and your colorectal area. So your ass and your intestines and your stomach. But this is just, it can hit everywhere on your body. 100% of your body is attackable with directed energy. So it isn't just this. This is just to show the example. So typically what happens with me is, let's say my testicles are being hit at this point in time. They hadn't been hit for a long time. So what happens is it hits it, just like the clock up here, that's the reference. Then it'll stop hitting that for a while. Then it'll go back to the brain. It'll start hitting your brain again, and then it'll stop at the brain. Then it'll go to the eyes. The eyes will be targeted again. Dry eyes, sore, bloodshot eyes, and then it'll go back to the hands and the feet. But intermittently, during each one of these other ones, it's hitting the other ones. Just a little bit, just a little dot here, a little dot there, a little hit there, a little hit there. But when it's mainly targeting, it's going to be in this section here when it's mainly targeting the brain, but it's going to hit these other ones just generally a little bit here and there every day. Then it goes around and it keeps going around and it keeps going around until one of them pops up with what is called the origin or the genesis cancer. So you're going to have an origin cancer or your heart failure, whatever it is. So we'll say the brain comes up first. So you get brain cancer, you got to get treated for brain cancer. But then while you're being treated for the brain cancer, all of these other places were hit. It puts out an even coating of directed energy on a bunch of different areas. So that way, when cancer comes up in one, about a year or two or whatever later, if you last that long, brain cancer, you're not going to last that long. A year or two later, you come up with, holy shit, now it's in your sex organs. Oh man, now you have a deteriorated tumor, a tumor in your testicles or something like that. So I just wanted to just briefly show you that. Like, that's kind of how it works. It doesn't just overload one area and continuously burn your face every single day for 2, 3, 4, 20 years. It gives a light dusting of even cancer to all of these different areas. And it does it like a clock. So that way it's pre-programmed, just like a clock is pre-programmed. You know how the clock runs. Same thing here. It's going to go around, go around, go around, go around, go around, and keep going around and just leaving an even layer of directed energy deterioration on each one of these areas. Your areas may be different. This isn't all the areas, obviously. Plenty of other areas can be hit too. But this was just the example. I wanted to set it up like a clock so you can see. So that's what happens. Now for me, my testicles have been, previous to this, it was my neck and the inside of my mouth and my throat. That got hit. And then it went out of that, came back into the sex organ. So now it's testicular. Yesterday, while I was at Costco doing an Instacart delivery and order, I was standing next to my car and I was like, holy shit, my testicle hurts. And that's nothing new. Previously, I showed the video on one of my other videos of my testicles being radiated inside of Costco, and what can anybody do until you actually have cancer? I had the University of Pennsylvania say that shit to me. I called Dr. Douglas Smith's office and spoke with the nurse there, the nurse secretary there, for about an hour over the course of 2 phone calls. And we had a very good conversation back and forth. I taught her some things and she listened and she said, well, look, we know what's doing this to you guys. We know it's directed energy. We know it's a computer. We don't have control of the computer. Like, that's what we came out to. We don't have control of the computer. We know it's a computer. We know basically who has it, but we don't control it. And I said, I'm going to get cancer from this shit. And she said, well, do you have cancer now? I said, not yet, but I'm going to have this shit. It's directed energy. It's not good for you, And she was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if that's the case, you're just going to have to get cancer. But the point is that they can't do anything about it. And they're the ones that did the research study. He's the leader of the research study. He's a brain injury doctor at the University of Pennsylvania. He's a research doctor for traumatic brain injuries. And she made a good point. I said, I can't argue with that. She said, and besides that, until you get cancer, there's nothing anybody can do about anything. Because if you're going to get cancer from it, how can anybody treat anything until you actually have cancer? So this is why it is completely a loss. Unless this thing decides to stop doing this shit to me one day, and you one day, you are going to die from it. Nobody else wants to say this shit. I'm going to tell you how the fuck it is. You are going to die. Like, you're not being hit with the energy because it's helping you. Again, I have to say that. People have a misconception like, oh, I'm fine. I went to work today. Oh, that was nothing. A little red eyes, a little blurred vision, a little brain pain. A little brain pain and a little blurred vision and a little testicular pain. I mean, you have to hear yourself say that shit. I understand what's going on. My neighbor in the back died like this. His name's Marv. He died, got cancer because he had cancer 30, 40 years ago, and he was in remission. So 40 years ago, he had cancer. He pops up with cancer again not that long ago. He lasted for about a year, and then he was dead. He had a primary cancer, and then it spread all of a sudden a year later. It was like, oh, it's in your spine. Oh, it's in your here, it's there, and it was everywhere. So, but let me show you this video. While I'm dialing that up, I wanted to say something else. So that's how it works. That's why you feel different areas, but it'll be targeting one area to the point where you have physical pain there, but you'll feel these little dots where you feel energy hit you. Maybe it'll glance off your hair on your head, but the main areas you're going to feel, you're going to have brain pain when it's on your brain. And it's going to be there for like a week, 2 weeks, maybe, anywhere in the week range to 2 weeks. And then it'll move on. It'll just go back to the next one. It'll hit the eyes then. Then it'll stay on the eyes and it'll dry your eyes out, burn your eyes. And it'll be like a week, 2 weeks, 5 days, 10 days, who knows? And then it'll move on to the feet and hands then. And then it'll move on to the lungs then. Just whatever next area that are the main areas for you and your targeting. And that's how it evenly distributes the energy over a long period of time into your physical anatomy to ensure that there's a multiple area potential for cancer to come about. Or at minimum, if it's not going to be cancer, it's going to be anatomical deterioration. So the functionality, meaning whatever that piece of your body does, if it's your heart and it's generally hitting your heart with energy, it's trying to deteriorate the function of your heart, meaning you're going to have heart failure. If it's your lungs, maybe it's not going to be cancer. Maybe it's just going to deteriorate the functionality of your lungs. You won't be able to breathe appropriately. Your lungs can't expand and contract like they used to. Might not be cancer, but that energy is not good. It's deteriorating, physically harming energy. But that's how it operates, like a clock. So that's, like I said again, to evenly distribute energy across multitude of different anatomy areas. So that way, when one pops up with cancer, you already have the other anatomy areas on their way to following up with cancer, if not already having tumors and deterioration in that area already. All right, so with that, I'm going to show you this video, but I wanted to talk about something else really quick. My testicle hurts. Yep. Very badly, actually. And I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I mean, I feel bad for everybody out there that's having this done to them. I'm sad. I'm really sad. I get physically sad, emotionally sad when I think about it, because this system gave me the best years of my life. I know that sounds weird. It does sound weird, But before I was targeted and desocialized and isolated and broken apart from my relationship I was in, my life was shit. My entire life basically was just bullshit. I hadn't achieved anything. The last time I achieved anything was when I was in Boy Scouts and I was playing baseball and playing sports in general. When I was younger, my life was just a meaningless march of stupidity. Not that I really did anything really dumb or like got into trouble. I just didn't do anything. I had no achievements. I didn't do nothing. And since I got targeted, uh, I founded an outdoor club. I founded a coin and currency club. So I have two organizations I founded that does public works. I adopted 2 miles of a highway near me that I clean up with other people from my outdoor club. I have people that watch me climb mountains. I never climbed a mountain before I was targeted and I was desocialized and isolated. I drive to New York and I live in New York whenever I want to drive there, and I climb mountains, and I live in the Adirondacks. Um, People watch me. People look to me for positivity and encouragement, and they watch my videos, and I'm somewhat of an inspiration to people, and it's crazy. So that's why I say that, because my life wasn't anything like that before I was targeted. And, you know, I get sad because I really love collecting coins and currency, and I love showing people, and I love talking to people about it. And I never had a peer group like that before, of other people like that. I never had a peer group of outdoor enthusiasts that like to ride bikes, climb mountains, and do things like that. And I finally do have that. And the shortest part of my life is going to be the best part of my life. It's only been about 5 years that I've been doing all this stuff, and I've accomplished so much. And it's going to be the shortest part of my life because this automated AI computer system, there is no human. There's no human on with you. There is no fucking human. I don't care what you hear a human voice. I read somebody say, I know it's the same girl that's been on here for 15 years with me because it's the same voice. You haven't seen anybody. You haven't seen a fucking human being. How the fuck do you know who's on this goddamn thing? It's a computer generated voice. Jesus Christ. I mean, the dumb shit that I read people write. I know it's the same chick. It's been 15 years because I know it's the same voice. How the fuck? Dude, there's computer generated voices since the fucking 1970s or 60s or whatever. And you think a computer can't just make a fucking voice up? The shit with, oh, I know who it is. It's a human. I know who it is. I know who that is. I know who this is. There's no fucking humans on this goddamn thing. Like, they don't care about you. Shit is crazy. So I'm going to show you real quick my penis being radiated. Let's see. Which one's a good one here? The old penis radiation. Right here. So this is me having my penis radiated inside of Costco at 100 microteslas. And then the computer turns it off. See, when it goes back, the computer turns it off because once you visualize that through your eyes and the computer sees that you're doing that, the computer turns it off to protect. No big deal. I don't care. The computer does that to protect itself because it sees that as a threat. So temporarily, that's why I said this isn't going to save your life, but it'll have the computer turn it off temporarily. So it turned it off. My testicles were sore. I was in a bunch of pain there too. Probably on for a couple of hours, just radiating my balls. And yeah, so that sucks. But that's what happened yesterday too, and today. But what I wanted to talk about lastly in this video, besides this, was the idea that if you think that you're not going to die from this shit, I don't know anybody that's gonna live when you're getting hit with this energy. The system is based upon your biometrics. I'm gonna erase this real quick. Just remember, it's an even distribution of directed energy to a multitude or a bunch of different areas. So that way, when you do get cancer diagnosis where you shit blood or piss blood or whatever, that there's other areas that will be cancered up, tumored up, deteriorated. So that way you're stage 2 plus in your cancer instead of stage 1, and have it be actually, survivable. All right. So now what I want to say is the way this system operates is your biometrics. So the chatterbot and the system in general it's on off, so to speak. I'm going to put on off here, is based upon your biometrics. And I'll tell you what that is. So on, off, biometrics. All right. So the system is on and active, and you hear the chatterbot and it never shuts the fuck up. This is why it never shuts the fuck up. Number one, because you're still alive. And that has to do with your biometrics here. So there's 3 main biometrics that the system looks at for its activity, for its on. Okay? And to see that you're still alive. Number 1 is brain activity. So brain activity, your neural patterns. It uses your neural patterns to read your brain to know what you're thinking, what you're saying, your brain speak, and all that stuff. So brain activity. Number 2 is respirations. So respirations is breathing. So it looks at your breathing and your brain activity. And number 3, heart rate / beat. Your heartbeat. So along the side here, there's a guy named Brian too that has a good layout of what the potential interface looks like for the system. I don't know where he got it, but so the on off. So on is alive, off is dead. So on means you're still alive. They programmed this system, the automated AI system that hits you with all of this radiation here to cause cancer and physical deterioration. They programmed it automatedly, meaning they turned it on while you're still on or alive, and they programmed its off switch to be based upon your death or when you're dead. And the computer will know you're dead because it monitors your brain activity, monitors your respirations, and it monitors your heart rate or your heartbeat. And no human gets on this thing. They programmed it like this, so that way it's hitting you with death energy, right? And eventually you're going to die from the death energy if it doesn't stop, and it does manifest or ends up having you with cancer or physical deterioration. The reason I know this is because if you hold your breath here, if you go and you listen to the chatterbot as it's talking, and you don't move and you just stand still and hold your breath, the chatbot slows down its talk. It'll go, and then it looks at the brain activity and the heart rate to make sure you're still alive. And because you're not feeding it your breathing, it looks at that as it's continuing to talk in a normal pace, and you're not feeding it anything around you to calculate and continue to talk about and chat about. That once you stop breathing, it's going to stop completely. Like once you're dead, it's not going to be on anymore. So they programmed it to be active based upon these. There's more factors, but these are 3 of them here. So as long as you have these 3 biometrics on and active, that means the computer system and the chatterbot, whether you hear it or not, will be on and active, and you will be recorded, you will be targeted, and that's it. Anybody else that isn't targeted, they're being brain recorded. Their neural patterns are being sent to the computer system and they're being saved for their profile. Your brain patterns, your neural patterns were all saved from decades ago till now. Before you got targeted, the system already had you recorded. So yeah, that's it. I wanted to say about that too, that the system is predicated. The system's on off is predicated on your on off, alive and dead. So as long as you're alive, unless some miraculous situation happens and the computer decides to go dark again, stop targeting you, stop hitting you with directed energy, and stop making your life fucking miserable and assuredly killing you. It's not just a fucking inconvenience. It is going to lead to your death. Like, I don't know what anybody doesn't understand about that, but energy equals bad. You know, I have to write it out like that. If you're being hit with this directed energy, it is not for your good. It is for your bad. So it is going to be bad. And the reason that it works and that they win and that the system gets to kill all of us is because even if you go somewhere and a doctor goes, I believe you. Fucking stupid people with the motorcycles and the loud noise. Even if you go somewhere and a doctor says, I believe you. I believe you're being targeted with directed energy. I believe you're being deteriorated. Even if they believe you, they're going to go, what can I do for you? And you still have to leave that fucking doctor's office and go home and get smoked out again and again and again and again. And the reason it's again and again and again is because the outcome of that is you're dead. So energy equals bad. Bad equals dead. So if energy equals bad and bad equals dead, energy equals dead. I don't know how much plainer I can say that, but I don't feel pain in my testicle right now and a testicle adjacent area here, right here, because it's good energy. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, but that's it. So as long as you have brain activity, as long as you have respirations, and as long as you have heart rate, you're alive. And as long as you're alive, this system is on you and it monitors your biometrics. It has all of that. It can control your heart rate. It can control your blood pressure. Even if you haven't had that effect on you, it can control your blood pressure. It can control your heart rate. And if you haven't had your heart entrained or fluttered or controlled at all, then you better thank your stars tonight. Kneel down and pray and thank God. Even though God has nothing to do with any of this and God doesn't supersede the system. That's why praying to God and this Jesus shit I hear all the time. People that go on these comments on the videos and stuff and go, oh, I'm praying to Jesus for you. Jesus is going to come in and save your life. Human beings created this fucking system. Jesus doesn't control a human being or a supercomputer. Jesus is not going to intercede on a supercomputer and the supercomputer is going to go, oh, Jesus, how you doing? Oh, I would love to stop targeting this person. Sorry, Jesus, didn't mean to make you angry. That's just not how it works. So that's that. The system runs on your brain activity, respirations, and heart rate. So, like I said, unless something amazing happens and it stops targeting that, you're gonna die from it. You will die. If this energy keeps entering your body here, the eventuality, 100% guaranteed, is you will die. So I don't mean to scare you. I just mean to tell you the truth. Because everybody else that makes these fucking videos wants to talk about gang stalking and fucking dumb shit. I want to talk about if you're feeling the energy and you're being radiated and you're getting the directed energy, that shit is not good for you, and you are not going to be alive if it continues. So I don't know what else to tell you, but I wanted to show you that because it went from my throat and my neck to my testicles like the clock, just hits it there, and then it'll go to another spot, and it'll go to another spot, and it'll just go around until one of those spots ends up having so much energy in it that eventuality is that something bad's going to be in that area. And then while you're getting treatment for that area, the other areas that it hit will then start to spring up with problems. And they've done this for decades, so they're pretty good at it. I mean, the system's been around for decades and decades and decades. So after decades of doing the same shit, you get pretty good at it. And they're pretty good at it. So that's it. Hope everybody has a good night. Yeah, this sucks because, like I said, 55, 56, 57, and then it drops to 48. So it was at 55 to 57, and then it dropped to 48, as you can see. And that lines right up with 5 to 20 microteslas in phase 3 radiation. So concentrated 5 to 20 microteslas above the background, which is 40 microteslas usually, 45 to 40 to 50. So at this point in the later stages of targeting and introduced directed energy radiation, you're going to see about 5 to 20 microteslas concentrated in those areas. And yeah, but like I said, I'm fucked up about this because hopefully everybody gets that. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comments, please. But I'm fucked up about this because this system gave me the best years of my life. And I mean that. I truly mean that. This system is killing me. It's ending my life. It's inconveniencing me. It's giving me pain in my testicles, burnt my eyes all up, burnt my head all up. But it turned my life around. I'll say this at the end. I can't say it enough. I can't lie. My life previous to targeting, so before targeting, after. So before targeting, I wasn't doing shit. Nothing. 6-year pointless relationship. So 6-year on and off pointless relationship. I wanted to go do my own thing. I wanted to be by myself. I wanted to see what my life was about on my own and just wished her the best. I just said, please go do your own thing. I wish you the best. Get your life together. I want to get my life together. I want to live my life. I want to do something with my life instead of just nothing and waste my life. I wanted to take the opportunity presented to me by being alive and do something with it. And, I was on pain medication that I was prescribed to and just kept continually, overusing that. So pain meds, and wasn't doing shit. Raising 3 kids that weren't mine, off and on, or 2 kids. And the one kid I raised from day one for 6 years. And I gave him the best life I could. But it was time for her to move the fuck on and go do her own shit. So, and this was most of my life, even before her. Most of my life was pointless. And then I got targeted. And with the targeting, as you know, comes desocializing, isolating, calling the ambulance on yourself, all that crazy shit. Oh, shit. And then after targeting, which is now, during targeting, after and during, because I'm not done being targeted. During targeting, let's see here. I climb mountains. It's fucking crazy. I climb mountains. I climb mountains. I drive to New York. I live in Pennsylvania here. I live 30 miles northwest of Philadelphia. I drive to New York to Lake Placid, and I live in Lake Placid, New York, and I climb mountains. I never climbed a mountain before I was targeted and desocialized and isolated. I ride road bike. I ride a road bike. I ride 20, 30 miles. I rode from here to Philadelphia, which was like 40 miles. All kinds of outdoor activities I'll just put. So I founded an outdoor club. We have 300 members. I founded an outdoor club with 300 members. I adopted 2 miles of a highway that I clean up for the Adopt a Highway program. I founded a coin and currency club. I collect coins and currency, and I teach people about coins and currency. So I founded that. We have about 30 something members in the coin club, and I work hard. I have friends from here in Pennsylvania to New York. I have friends in Vermont. I lived in Vermont for 3 months of my life, but all the while I do this stuff, I'm still hit with the directed energy. I still get smoked out. I live in my car when I live in New York, so I don't have any expenses. I live in the parking lot of the supermarket. While I live in my car, I'm still getting hit with the directed energy. While I climb a mountain, I still get hit with the directed energy. I work 7 days a week. 7 days a week I work. I make good money. I don't mind my job that I do. So, all of these amazing things. From nothing, pointless relationships, being hooked on my pain meds I was prescribed to doing all this stuff in 5 years. In 5 years. From 2021 was when I really started getting into all this stuff. So 2021, I got overtly targeted in 2015, 2016. But really, in 2021 was when all of this good stuff started. So that's it. I wish all the directed energy would stop. And at some point that I would get an idea that maybe I'm going to live a little bit longer than a few years, 4 or 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, 1 year. That's it. I hope everybody out there I don't know what to tell you. I've called everywhere. I've done everything. Just hang in there. Feel free to comment on the video. Feel free to ask any questions. But I wanted to make that video with the points that I made in there that The system literally is active and functional based upon your heartbeat, your breathing, and your brain activity. There's no human on there doing this shit to you. And that I think you can agree that maybe you experience the same thing, is that, there's about a week to 2 weeks maybe of hitting one area, and it moves to another area, and it goes to another area, and about that same time frame, and then it just goes around and keeps hitting the same areas to evenly disperse the energy, to kind of evenly deteriorate a bunch of body parts simultaneously. So that way, when you do get the scan, or when you do have one of the spots break down, that then they go, holy shit, there's this area, there's that area. And it's overwhelmingly bad to the point where it's not stage 1 if it's cancer, it's stage 2, 3, 4, that it's metastasized or spread to other body parts. Well, it didn't spread anywhere, it was just put there. But they don't know that. Nobody knows that. So all anybody knows is that, oh, I got cancer. And this isn't just us, the people that are looking at it. This isn't just us, the people that are hearing it. It's everybody. Somebody woke up today in fucking whatever state in this country or around the world and found out they have cancer. And it was because of a fucking computer giving it to them. So that's it. Hope you guys have a good night. And please, please, the time you have left, if you're a true target and you're being hit with this shit, make good use of it. That's why I'm mad that this shit's still going on, because I love to inspire people. I wish I wasn't teaching you about this shit. I wish I didn't have to teach you about this shit. I wish it wasn't happening to me and it never happened to me and I never knew about it. And I would have got my life to here from here without it. But I'm glad that I'm here at least. I'm glad that the time that I've had, that I've been allowed to have by the system, not making me commit suicide and not doing anything else to me, allowed me to at least do this so far with the 5 years that I really put effort in. But I'm really sad because I love to teach people about things. I love to be positive and inspirational, and I love to do things with my life, outdoor activities and whatever. And I just want you to do the same thing. I want you to have this too, but whatever your thing like this is, because if you're really being hit with this shit, it's not good. Like I said, it's bad. So you need to make the best of every day of your life, because you don't know when the system will finally go, that's it, and just black you out while you're driving, fucking melt your face off of your body, or do some shit that's super fucking crazy that isn't the norm. And you're going to think, well, I'm fine. I'm still walking. I'm still talking. But then the system makes a choice to just have some crazy fucking day or two where you're physically beat the fuck up to the point where you can't actually continue. You're in a hospital or something. So please don't assume that you're going to have 2 weeks, a month, 2 years. Assume that every day is a potential day that this system could turn on you and just blow you to pieces. So use the days you have left to the best of your ability. And that's it. I hope you guys have a good night. Wake up tomorrow and make the best of the day that you have, please. And feel free to comment down below, subscribe. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good night.